Well, Scrappers, Tool Addicts, Tool Collectors. Welcome to CC Scraps Restoration Channel. Let's check this out. This has been in the mix for about a little over a month, but I finally got a hold of it. Not her. This. Right, Lotus? Aren't you proud of Daddy? Are you? Of course you are, because you're a good baby. Craftsman 12-inch commercial radial arm saw. That's right, Scout Crafter. What maniac only has one radial arm saw? Like the humanity. But yeah, I picked this up today at Syracuse Restore in Syracuse, New York. It's a company that they have all sorts of I'm assuming donated tools and things. They have a really cool Rockwell scroll saw that I probably gonna go back for. I dig that this has got it's got like army green, that olive drab looking stands, and it's the same color of the saw too. It's kind of cool. It almost looks military. It's got a lockout for the power. Pretty cool, right? And we'll put you in the cradle and we'll see, like, it'll go back and forth, and I'll show you all the maneuvers that it makes. Here's the badging if you want to pause your TV and or phone and take a look. But we are going to do a brief history on this particular tool and how Sears Craftsman came about, so sit tight. All right, so we're going to go through some of the motions of this thing. Hopefully you can see me. And there's no brakes on these wheels, so it's going to be tough to move stuff around. But right here, you guys can see that there's a lever here you lift, and this will move this is supposed to move the saw. I just moved it. Why isn't it moving it? Oh, that's why. There we go. That breaks it free and that moves it. Sorry. And you can go back and forth with it. This lever here, if I'm not mistaken, let me get out of the way. This makes it loosen that. That keeps the arm from moving this. Oh no, this makes it turn. I think. Wait. Oh no, this does. Sorry, guys. I can't turn the blade on the 45 because of the way the card is. That's pretty cool. That locks it in. This lever here moves the blade guard. It's kind of cool. Then this, there's one where it spins too. I think it's this lever makes it spin. Maybe not. This way? It's been a while, you guys. I'm sorry. We're shooting from the hip here. Oh no, this turns it. Sorry. This lever turns the saw either way. And then this is the one that lifts it so you can do the side rip cuts. Turn it that way. I think there's 7 or 8 different cuts this saw makes. I can't plug it in because I do not have 230 volt out in my garage, but it works. I plugged it in there. Yeah, it's covered in PV Blaster. This thing's cool. I can't seem to get it to crank up. The crank is right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Down there. It seems to be seized up a little bit. I don't know if that's because it doesn't need to be, it's not on the legs yet, but I don't think that would make a difference. I think the mechanism's kind of seized up. I loosened the 2 set screws and the screw in the back to see if that would allow me to lift it. Unless there's a locking mechanism on here that I'm missing. Somewhere. That looks like the circuit breaker. Lockout. So you can lock it so you can't turn the power on. That's pretty cool. All right, so let's sit tight and we'll get a brief history of this song, Sears Craftsman, and how this came about. What do y'all think of that? I think that's a great idea. All right. So we're back. We got a little bit of history of this saw with the serial number and the manufacturer. It says, the MFG 1071 on your Craftsman 113.29310 denotes the manufacturing plant code 1071. It is a common manufacturer code for Emerson Electric, which built Sears tools. Let's see. Let's show more. Instead of writing it down, I just decided to go to my computer. It says here that it's a 9-inch radial arm saw. It's not. It's a 12-inch. So that's not right. Emerson Electric, the code added 1071. Era manufactured late 60s to early 70s, which is when I was born. So this saw is at least as old as I am, which is 54 years old. And that's pretty badass. I'm not going to lie. Many Sears Craftsman radial arm saws, including the 13-point series, were subject to major consumer production for the Safety Commission recall. Sears previously offered a free guard upgrade, which I believe I have that, or a cash incentive. They were dangerous because they could kick. When these saws would kick at you, the blade would come flying at you because of the way the blade spins. It goes flying right down that armor when you're doing those rip cuts, and kind of the way you can turn the blade. I have another video on my other Craftsman 10-inch saw. That was weird. And I showed a little bit better because it's on legs, so it's easier to work with. But like you've seen, it basically does the same thing. Excuse me. For saws that qualified. Because these units have exposed blades and kickback potential, with mixed options in woodworking communities about their safety, you should verify your saw if it's covered. You can research the CPSC for recall details. There's all sorts of parts. Sears Parts Direct. Let's see. Let's do a history of Sears Craftsman. Craftsman. Whoops. I typed sly hand packet. History. Thank you, AI. No, that's not what I wanted. Stop giving me pop-ups, bitch. Here we go. I noticed when working, hold on. All right, so Sears and Roebuck, started by Richard Warren Sears and Alva Curtis Roebuck, started Sears and Roebuck and Company. The company grew out of a watch selling business and expanded through the following key steps. 1886, Richard Sears was working at a gas station. In 1886, Richard Sears was working as a station agent for Minneapolis and St. Louis Railroad in North Redwood, Minnesota, when a local jeweler refused a shipment of gold-filled pocket watches. Sears bought them himself and started R.W. Sears Watch Company and sold timepieces and to other station agents along the railroad line for a quick profit. That was tough. Yes, I can read. Partnering with Roebuck. Sears moved his business to Chicago in 1887 and placed a classified advertisement looking for an expert watchmaker. Alva C. Roebuck answered the advertisement. It's crazy, right? That was like their Indeed. Wow. It still works, right? Just in different ways. And was hired to handle the watch repairs. In 1893, they officially renamed and rapidly growing mail order enterprise Sears and Roebuck Company. The mail order revolution. The catalog. They published a famous Sears catalog, a massive book filled with clear illustrations, fixed pricing, and an enormous variety of goods. They even sold you houses. Like, there's houses in this city that were made by, that you could order in the Sears and Roebuck catalog, and they would come and build them for you right there. And it's crazy. There's a couple of them in the city. I'm going to do a little research and see if I can find a couple pictures of it, and then I'll put it up at the end of the video. I think you guys would like that, right? I know I would. And if you don't, oh well, I'm going to do it anyway. Because it's my channel. Let's see. In 1895, Alva Roebuck sold his interest in the company due to stress and health concerns. That sucks. Richard Sears then partnered with a clothing manufacturer named Julius Rosenwald, who bought into the firm. Rosenwald brought disciplined corporate management, efficient supply chain operations, and immense capital company, transforming it into a global superpower. All right, you go, dude. Trying to touch it. What? When did Radial arm saws? I just want to see when they started. Syracuse sold Craftsman Radial arm saws in its store catalogs from 1958 to 1995, so that's when they kind of did away with them. The golden era, 1950-1970, Sears introduced Craftsman Radial arm saw in 1958 to capture the booming post-World War II suburban DIY market, and they did. Look at me. I'm Gen X, and I got 2 of them. Early design saws from late 1950s and early 1960s featured distinctive rounded arms, cast iron bases, which were prized for their mechanical rigidity. And both of these saws that I have are built, like, there's nothing, you're not going to get this quality unless you pay really up for it. And I think we'll Google how much it cost for one of these saws back in the day compared to prices too, and we'll put it down there as well. I think mine in 1984 was like, it was like $800, which is an equivalent of like $1,300, I think. I don't know. I have to look. I'm sorry. Don't quote me on that. I could be totally wrong. Shit talk me in the comments if you want. The front innovation crank in the 1960s, Sears popularized by putting the elevation crank in the front of the saw, prevented users from having to reach behind the live blade. That was smart. Design choice was so popular that the premium competitors like DeWalt changed their own designs to mimic it. Go Sears and Roebuck. They had market dominance and cost cutting in the 1970s and 80s. By the 70s, Craftsman Radial arm saw was marketed as the ultimate all-in-one shop tool, capable of cross-cutting, ripping, datoing, and even routing. The peak era for my model fits right into the manufacturing. Emerson Electric. So Sears sourced out Emerson Electric to build it just like they did, with my saw downstairs, my King Sealy. Same thing. The phase out in the 1990s. This is what I wanted to get into in the video because I don't want to bore you guys. Sears expanded the lineup to include specialized 8-inch, 8 1/4 inch models alongside the standard 9-inch, 10-inch models in the 1990s. So I need the 8.5, the 8, or the 8, the 8.5, or 8 1/4, and the 9-inch. Then it'll be complete. But this new one I got, or this one I got today, is older than this one's from the 80s and this one's from the 60s to the 70s. I think 1071 is the year it was made and the company or the location, if I'm not mistaken. So 1971, this year I was born. And I think the 10 meant October. Sorry, the 10 meant October and the 71 was the year. So I'm in September. So this was built like literally after I was born, like a month afterwards. That's crazy. So I'm gonna say it's 54 years old. That's a fair assumption. The rapid rise of portable, safer compound miter saw in the 70s and 80s quickly replaced the radial arm saw for standard cross-cutting angle tasks. Sears officially stopped selling the core line of 8, 9, 10-inch saws in 1992, with the final variant models lingering into production and ended in 1995. Because of the massive volume sold during this 37 years window, millions of these units entered American garages. Damn right, there's going to be a few more in this garage and in this museum basement workshop. Leading directly to large-scale safety recall, because they are very dangerous. You got to be careful with these things, or it'll take your arm off, or you'll get sliced up. Eventually, when I get enough balls, I'm going to plug in my 10-inch. I'm going to do every cut that's supposed to make. And I'll have Mrs. CC Scraps on the phone ready to call 911 if I die. Because some of that shit is scary. Like, I'm not going to lie. If you go on YouTube, you can see some of the, like, you can Google Craftsman Radial, or Google or YouTube Craftsman Radial arm saw cuts, and it'll show you all the cuts that it makes, and most likely the way people get cut. Like, you got to be careful. That's your PSA, everybody. So if you have one of these, use it at your own risk, and don't take my advice for anything. And on that note, I think that's about it, really. If you want to do a deeper dive, just Google it. I'll do the badging so you can see the serial number and the manufacturer and everything. Hope you all have a safe and great weekend. Thanks for listening to me rambling on with an old Miller beer and a 54-year-old Craftsman Radial arm saw. We got something in common. Look halfway decent. Bit of rusty, but runs like a motherfucker. Anyway, hope you all have a safe and great weekend. We'll see you on the next one. Stay safe out there. And, yeah, just stay safe. All right. Before we end the video, this is the last little clip. I want to give a shout to Restore Syracuse. First time I've been there. Heard about it for a while. And this is a great thing for the community. You can do donations. You can volunteer. They have appliances. They have all sorts of things in this little store. And this is where I got my Craftsman Radial arm saw. They're open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. if you're in the Syracuse, Onondaga County area, or if you're in town. They're at 514 West Genesee Street in Syracuse, New York, 13204. And we'll put their link down here. You guys, thanks again. I'll definitely be back for that Rockwell. What a great place. Like, I could have went broke in there. And it's for a good cause. It really is. Habitat for Humanity always does good things. Everybody, again, now we'll see you on the next one, and have a great and safe weekend. To the men and women in the U.S. military, get home soon, stay safe, and Godspeed. We love you.